there's one lovely thing about it is the solidarity that we all go through this, but we're all going through it in different ways. But one thing I do know is that showing up for your family, showing up for your business, showing up for yourself, the very best thing that you can do is to make sure you get enough sleep, eat the right foods, get some exercise, whether that's a walk around the block or whatever it might be for you, and to register whatever stresses you're going through, and to do something every single morning to start your day so you've got your best opportunity to show up for your kids, for your partners, for who might be, but most importantly for yourself. So I wanted to mention that I don't know how many conversations in the first 2 or 3 weeks of this to say, keep that in mind, and you'll be stronger and you'll have a better chance of achieving the goals that you set out for this year and beyond. So the reason that Diane and I were just, as you'll have heard, we were just talking about how this business has grown over that period of time, and it is for a fundamental reason. And it's the reason I got involved in Keller Williams in the first place. It's really good for two sets of people. Really good for two sets of people. It's really good in the United Kingdom for people that want to move home. It's really good for them because they will get to deal with a professional real estate agent. They'll get to deal with a relationship-based agent rather than a transactional agent. And the other person that this really benefits from, and this is what our business is built around, is it gives an opportunity for an agent to build wealth for themselves. This business is literally designed around giving you the systems, tools, training, technology, the support that you need to build the business that you want, that will help you fund the life that you want to live. So if you look at our mission statement, to build careers worth having, right? To build a career worth having. And beyond that, then to build a business that's really worth owning. And as you'll hear me talk about this a great deal, guys, the only business worth owning is one that makes profit, and an amount of profit that will allow you to live the life that you want to live, a one that's worth living. We're not talking about existing, getting by. We're talking about how do we do that so that we can really experience life and have experiences worth giving. And as you can see there, for a lot of us, and definitely for me, to leave some sort of legacy, to leave something, whether that's for your family, whether that's being known for something worthwhile. And it matters so much. I put heart and soul into this, as all of our team do, to help you build that, to have the business that you really want to have. Okay, so it is amazing. There's 172 of you on the call, and it's amazing to see that now, how it grows. But that is the reason that it's growing. It's genuinely a business designed to help you do that. And this afternoon, what we're going to be taking you through is, what are we doing in a practical sense with all of those different things, with technology, etc., to help you build those businesses, but also to show you just how much success now there is within the UK. It's not, we don't need to look at other countries to see enormous numbers now of people really starting to thrive, and that's super, super exciting. The vision for our business, we want to become number one. And you might think, well, what do we care about that then? It's nice that you want to become number one. I said, no, we want to become number one, because my belief is, if in the households across the UK, people, when they start to say, if you're going to move house, you're going to try and find one of those agents from Keller Williams. Try and find one of those, because those people will take care of you. Those people will protect your interests. That is the reason that I want this business to be number one. That's why. Because I believe that will drive more business into your businesses. And I want to build this, and we are building this in a way that will empower you to give a world-class experience to your customer. I want you to be able to, whether that's through technology, through relationships, through all the things that you will need to be able to give that experience to the customer. So it's really important to me that you know that the mission and vision in this business is a real thing, a living thing that I want you to all be part of. And I hope you very much feel that that's the case. Simon's going to share with you later when we talk about marketing, how you feel about this business. So before we go into hearing from the different departments and the successes of last year, I referenced Bill Sotteroff. Some of you, if you've been on these calls before, you'll know who I'm referring to. But he's quite a remarkable individual. He's the president of Keller Williams Worldwide. He's overseen the growth of Keller Williams now into 50 different countries, which is an extraordinary thing. He's a vastly experienced person. He's erudite and extremely wise. And actually, he's got a great sense of humor. And for me, he's been a really experienced hand to be able to lead into, to get his perspective on as we build out this business. So Bill, I'd very much like to have a few minutes from you, if we may, and to give your perspective of 2020 and where we are now, Keller Williams Worldwide.
My friend Ben, thank you for the great introduction. I'm not sure about the erudite part of that. I'm going to make sure I mention that to my children and my wife to let them know your feelings about me. Second thing that I learned today is don't ever follow Ben Taylor on a presentation because he'll take all of the things that you were going to say in his presentation. So I learned that because we flip-flopped from last time. Well, it's exactly the same conversation. You know, we survived 2020 so that we can thrive in 2021. One of the things that I've learned about us around the world, more than 13,000 of us now at Keller Williams Worldwide in 50 countries, more than 256 market centers, is that it doesn't matter what country you're in, we're all the same. We have this great need for human interaction. We all want to take care of our families. We're always very grateful what COVID has given us. Dinner with our families. All of us used to run around and work and spend time, and now with the commute that you and I both have, going from our bed to our bath to the kitchen to the computer, it's changed our lives. This is always a personal conversation. This business is personal, but it's also lonely. And the thing that we've learned is that human connection that Ben and the leadership of KWUK has given us is imperative. It's important. When Ben talked about where we came from, Diane will remember this. Our first KWUK state of the company, state of your company, I think was in a local in the corner booth with a pint of beer. And I think we had a second meeting in the Chippy down the road, and we took up one table. So we've grown from that ragtag group of people who had a dream to establishing a business where when Ben Taylor says we're going to be number one and dominate the industry, that's a reality. One thing that Ben said that is very true, being able to say you're number one is not just for the sake of being number one. And by the way, that comes with responsibilities. The reason why we want to have an impact on the community is because of our systems, models, training, education, culture, and technology. That's why. Is that the old ways of doing business across England, Wales, Scotland is gone. This is the way that you will lead. You'll change the industry dramatically. Now, a couple things that I would say to you as we go forward. Don't forget about that human interaction and how you feel. So I would ask you and say to you, it's imperative for you to reach out to all of your present and past colleagues, friends, customers, and clients and do a welfare check and just see how they're doing and have a conversation with them. It doesn't need to be a business conversation. It can be, how are you? Are you well? Do you need anything? We're all in this together. I don't think we do that enough. I know that I appreciate it when I get a little message from somebody that says, I was just thinking about you, want to make sure you're all right. The second thing that I was going to say to you is you cannot stop lead gen. You cannot stop lead generation. You have to continue to do that. And this is a perfect time because that personal phone call, email, text, video call will go a long way and it will help your business. So a couple of things that I would say in closing. I am amazed at what has happened over the last few years, and I congratulate Ben and his team for their accomplishments. I adore you. I worry about you every moment. None of us has any way of feeling comfortable until COVID disappears or we get a vaccine or whatever will happen. Every single country is exactly the same right now. A slow rollout for the vaccine and various levels of lockdown. So you're no different than any other country or community or family in the world. This last week, KW France did a family reunion, the first of the year, and it will be followed by more. The answer to that question is you have to make sure you take care of your people. And it doesn't matter if it's in France or the UK or Malaysia. The answer is it is you. It is what you do. You can make a difference. So the last thing I'm going to say to you is please think about your business, think about your family, think about your health, and think about your welfare. For your health and your welfare and your family, that is 100% your responsibility. Every single one of us absolutely needs a hug. I do more than anybody. And virtual hugs, quite frankly, are okay, but they're not going to cut it for a long time. So the very moment the sky's open and there's an opportunity, look out, Ben, I'm coming to see you and I'm going to be hugging and kissing you. But the second part of that is make sure that you take care of your families and yourselves. And then, of course, the third is your business. Lead gen, spend your time reading the MREA, plan your one thing, create your GPS, your 135, and look at ways of expanding your business by doubling it or increasing it by 25% or whatever your goal is. Because that's the way to take care of you in a business and a personal way. And you have the tools. Our systems, models, training, education, culture won't go away, and our technology will get better. Ben, this is a year that will be a differentiation for us. 2021 will be a seminal moment in our history. It's the year that we will change lives. That's all because of you and what you have started, created, and grown in the UK. So take a message back to your core group and all your partners and say, Soderoff says, virtual hug, thank you. May God bless everyone. Go forth and multiply. Don't let anybody stop you. We are KW. Thank you, Ben.
Well, you know, I never tire of your sessions in joining us. So thank you so much. Incredibly generous and kind. Albeit, I'm pretty sure I heard you reference that I may have held a state of your company in a chippy, which coming from you I don't know, something just seemed really incongruent about that statement. But that's just lovely. So thank you so much for being here, and virtual hugs back to you, my friend.
Thank you.
Hugs back to you.
The best to everybody. Have a great meeting.
Okay, so have a look at this slide. This is where worldwide Keller Williams worldwide has got to so far. I mean, this is I think when I became part of Keller Williams in 2017, we were in, I may have the numbers wrong, but I think we were in like 15 or 17 countries. And in that short period of time, we're now in 50 countries. And my good friend Jerome, who's the OP for France, is on now. And I think in that time that I think they now have something like 1,750 agents or something like that. And that's in France. And this is the reason this is really important is it was a big part of when I invested and became part of this extraordinary family. What made me realize was this is not a US business. This is designed for human beings. And that's why it works so well in France. It works with my friends over now in Japan. And you see all these other regions that opened and launched just during this worldwide pandemic as 7 new regions. There's nearly 250 market centers, 50 regions, or in we countries in how we refer to them, and nearly 12,000 agents. So yes, we're Keller Williams UK, but we're part of this extraordinary family. And that family, as it says at the top, the more we become, the closer we become. That's why it's so important for me to keep us all really connected, because we're so much stronger all together. Same as Bill was referring to and I was referring to as becoming number one here, becoming number one in France, Jerome, and around the world. That helps all of us in building out the business, even at a hyper-local level that you'll be operating at. So for the UK performance, the last quarter of last year, we ended last year on 12 market centers. So I think we came into the year maybe 5, something like that. And we came into the year with somewhere around 125 agents-ish, and we finished at 328. So massive growth, and literally you can imagine the numbers, and this is where it's really, really extraordinary. This means with bringing in so many more agents, that's so many more people thriving, with more deals being done, closed units. This doesn't matter to me in the sense of what Keller's doing. What matters is that this is business that you're doing, the agents are doing. So there's so many more now, more agents, more deals, more instructions. And then have a look at this. You all know about profit share and growth share in the UK. And I've shared with any of you that listen to me talk about this. There's some friends of mine called Linda and Jimmy McKissick, who are the highest earners of profit share in the world. And I think that something like between them, there's about $3 million in income that they pick up. But they've been doing it for a really long time. And the one thing that Linda McKissick said to me, if she had a time again on building her growth share and profit share, was that, and these were her words, she wished she'd become more intentional about it earlier. She said it was 4 years of being in Keller Williams before she actually got a grasp of how significant that could become. And the reason I put that up, there's already £30,000 being paid out. So in February, we're paying out £30,000 to our agents and to people helping our business grow. And I want you to grow your growth shares over the coming months and over the coming years, because it's the ultimate in passive income for you. Passive income is your favorite income because you're getting that income whether you're working or not. So it's lovely to see that becoming very real. So what we're going to do now is we're going to talk about the market overview for 2021. And here's how I see it, okay? For somebody to really call out where we're going to be at the end of 2021 accurately, I don't know how you do it. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to give you a view. I'll just give you my perspective. And that's based on a lot of reading, a lot of research. And if you look at last year, I probably wouldn't have imagined that we'd see 7% higher prices by the end of last year from the beginning, given the remarkable marketplace and the pandemic that we had around the world, okay? Without doubt, a lot of that was fueled. The increase in house price last year and the increase in transactions in that second half of the year undoubtedly is going to be fueled by Rishi Sunak's stamp duty holiday. Now, coming into 2021, for me, and I've spent quite a lot of time talking to different private equity companies, only because I really enjoy how a private equity company, they're all on data, right? So they're looking at everything. And so they're looking at the axis of COVID cases and they're looking at the vaccinations, because ultimately lockdown doesn't change anything. It just slows down the rate of transmission. But it's vaccinations going to brings the time where we get back to what some people might refer to as normal life. Now, I think there's just over, I think there's 4.6 million people have had a vaccination, or nearly 5 million doses, 4.6 million people. So the rate of vaccination is going up dramatically. We know that the over 70s, the aim is to have all of those vaccinated by the end, and the main 4 groups, vulnerable groups, by the end of February. And that there is a goal by end of summer to have all adults in the UK vaccinated. For me, the first quarter is going to be determined by a couple of things. The debate in Parliament around what they're going to do around stamp duty. Will they taper it? Will they extend it? What will they do? I think there'll be some reference to that, because right now, people will assume that if you're going to put your house on today, you'll do very well to get that done in time for stamp duty, I think. So for me, as the vaccinations increase, then I think what we're going to find, let's say, but most of those private equity companies are referring to end of April being the time that there's some sort of normality back out there. Yeah, we don't know, but we think that'll be the case. My view will be, in this country, generally speaking, around about 1 million people, 750 upwards, will move house. And there's going to be, even pandemic-wise, a lot of people will want to move house for lots of different reasons. Okay, so my view will be, or is, that I think you can predict I think there'll be an increase in house price over the year as a whole. I really think there will. But I think more important than house price, I'm much more interested in transactions. And I think a lot of people are going to move house, and I think a lot of people are going to let homes. I really do. Because there's so many reasons to do it, good and bad, from different people's perspectives. But one thing I do know is they will want an agent that they can trust and rely on to help them make a great decision. If a great decision is to move, they need an agent that can say that will tell them it's a good idea to move. But equally, if that person, the best thing for that person is to sit tight, they need an agent that says right now is not the right time. Because we're dealing with clients for life, and we want these clients to become clients for life. And Bill referred to it, and I'm going to make no apology for referring to it again. Okay, whatever happens this year, the thing that protects an agent is a database. Build a big database. In lockdown, you're not going to be knocking on people's doors. You must be out of your mind to knock on people's doors in lockdown, but you can still build your database. And adding 15 people a week, names, telephone numbers, in a small area, start small, 15 people a week, 780 people a year, 780 people a year over 5 years, you've got a database of 3,900. And if you're servicing that database, if you're looking after and nurturing those relationships of all of those people in that database, you will have an extreme, and I do mean extreme, level of income in any market. And that's what I want to do. I want to help protect you in any market. Not you have good times in good times and bad times in bad. I want you to have good times in difficult times, and I'll have extraordinary times in good times, right? And how do you do that? As an agent, you build a database. And that's what I want to stick to, okay? So some of the things that we're going to talk about to facilitate that, I'm now going to hand over to Mark, Mr. Reddings, who's going to talk about our pathway. We've got some extraordinary things that we've done and are doing in moving forward in technology to support you in building those databases and delivering that exceptional customer experience. So I'm going to hand over to you, Mark, to talk us through the technology piece, please.
Thanks, Ben. So people have been involved for the last 6 to 12 months. There's been an awful lot of tools, so technology tools that we've put forward into all the Keller Williams agents. What we've got here is a place now where I think the tools we've got need to be as integrated as possible. So we're now looking to kind of showcase how we're going to make that happen. What's really important now with the tools that we have is to simplify it, connect the tools as much as possible, synchronize the data between the tools, and need to educate to better help you understand how certain tools can help you in the growth of your business. So what we're looking to do, you see a couple of the tools there. I couldn't put them all down. But what we've got KW Nurture. So what we're going to do over the next month or so is to be able to connect Nurture with KW Grow and KW AI in terms of the leads that can flow through. So it would automatically go into the Nurture campaign. We're then going to be able to connect the auction platform to Nurture as well in exactly the same way. You'll see down there as well that we've got KW Vision that we've announced obviously today, which I'm going to go into on the next slide. For us, the KW Vision platform is going to be the CRM for us here in the UK, and it's basically the new CRM to take you to the next level. So I don't want to go into too much detail as to what the actual items are going to have in it, because it's a big, long list. But I think the thing to stress is the ease of use. So straight away, it's a cloud-based system. So whereby at the moment, you guys are currently using Repit. This is the cloud-based system, no software to download. It's going to work on all and any devices that you need to actually access it from. The matching element of it was a really big piece for us. So what we've built within the platform, and just to confirm, this is a UK owned and developed platform and will continue to be so. It's a platform that we're going to be getting feedback from all of our agents ongoing throughout the process. The development, the improvements won't stop. The feedback that you supply us will make it get better and better and better. It will be built around your feedback. So on the matching element, what we're going to be doing straight away from launch is we're going to have a matching system that will do an automatic broadcast to all of your leads and data within your own account. So basically every single day, there will be a match between your listings and your own applicants. As you grow your applicants, it will just match automatically to that. So your job is to get the criteria in there as much as possible to be able to match those together. In addition to that, there will be another matching area where you can match your listings and applicants to all of the UK agents. The huge benefit of being part of Keller Williams is the sharing of information and the actual support that you guys have between all of you. So the big thing that we wanted to do is make sure that you can leverage off of that. So there'll be a system in place whereby you can match against the applicant and then seek approval from another agent to release the information, and there'll be an agreement between the two parties. Also, the automation was obviously important. So AML, sales memorandums, invoicing will all be fully automated and sent for you. There's obviously branding pieces for you, which you have full control over as well, depending on what type of agent that you are. The integration, as I said, is really important. So that will be auto-connected. KW Vision will have a connection to Nurture, to Grow, to Auctions, and to KW Move from launch. There's a pilot going live as of the first week of February within one of the market centres. We're going to be getting a lot of feedback, making sure that it's worked obviously very, very well, and to ensure that any issues will be resolved before we consider launching this across the whole of the UK. Another huge part of the platform is something that we really wanted, was to have a consumer platform to make sure that the client has access to information. And again, we'll be enhancing this as we go over. So right from the beginning, the contracts will be able to be signed within the online account of the actual client. They'll be able to edit some information, and there will be a communication suite within the actual platform as well. So whereby you could be relying on email, there'll be a way for them to message you and message it back, a bit like a WhatsApp, built into the actual consumer app that you will have access to. It will also be fully mobile, so you can be out and about. And because we can then link the two between Nurture and the actual KW Vision, both applicants and sellers will move between the two. So right from the off, that's gonna be obviously all done, set up. So yeah, I don't want to go into too much information on it, because we're going through obviously a pilot, but those are just a little bit of a flavour of what we're looking to do. What I would urge you is, when we go to pilots, when we go through market centre by market centre to obviously release this across the UK, we want your feedback. We want as much as possible, whatever, if it saves you a minute of time, if it saves you 10 minutes of time, we want to know as much as possible to be able to then build it into the roadmap, to be able to improve this platform and make it the very best in the UK. So that's just a short update, but a big one. So KW Vision is here. It's built. We're migrating data over from one of the market centres as we speak, go live in February, and then we're looking to launch, depending on the success of that particular pilot, as soon as possible for all the other market centres and all the other agents. So that's the update for me.
It's a good update though, Mark. We like that. That's very exciting times. Wayne, were you going to just give us a quick run through, if you would, on where we are with training, please?
Well, thank you, Ben. That's great news, Mark. So from a training perspective, we've got a training goal, and our training goal is to provide world-class training for every Keller Williams associate in the UK. And I personally believe that we are achieving that through, firstly, planning out a great training calendar. And we've done that at least for the next 6 months, which is packed with relevant content. And we're carrying this out in a higher and higher, or at a higher and higher level each week and each month. This training calendar is available to all associates, and it's shared with you by your market center manager. Two things that I'd like you to bear in mind is that great success is achieved through time blocking the right activities at the right time, and which is relevant to your business in order to maximize the potential of you achieving your goals. Being learning based, as we know, as a foundation of your action plan is one of our 6 personal perspectives. So from a training point of view, I think everybody needs to be encouraged to time block and attend the most relevant training sessions. And until further notice, most of our training is presented regionally, with some of it being presented at market center level, and it's still going to be done on Zoom. And the sessions are recorded and is available to be downloaded on demand. You can just go to the next slide. A little bit more of exciting news. A core business fundamental of Keller Williams, or of a Keller Williams market center, is for it to be designed and run for agents by agents. And this is best practiced and realized through the incorporation and active involvement of an ALC, or an Associate Leadership Council. This year in particular, each established KW market center will have an official ALC in place. I'd like to personally just congratulate every single agent who has been nominated and appointed as members of their respective ALCs, and wish them all the best in achieving their personal goals and carrying out these leadership roles through 2021. Some of these ALC members will further be nominated and appointed into a regional KWUK ALC, which will also be established soon, and we are planning to have that in place before the end of Q1. Probably, I think, from a most exciting point of view, and I see Ben hasn't mentioned it yet, Bill hasn't mentioned it yet, and that is, obviously, as you've heard, France has just had their family reunion. The USA is having their family reunion in February. I personally believe this is the biggest, or one of the 2 biggest learning experiences that you can have. And that means it's less than 1 month away. I'm very excited and I can't wait. This is the best investment that you will make for your business this year. And I can't think of a better way that you can invest £85. Attendance obviously will be virtual. And based on the excellent delivery of MegaCamp near the end of last year, which was also done via Zoom, I'm very confident that it'll be a great success. So time block, 15th through the 19th of February, and we will also obviously keep you informed of all new information we get regarding family reunion in the USA. That's about it from my side. I'm going to hand you over now to Simon, our very capable Chief Marketing Officer. Simon.
Thank you, Wayne, and hello, everybody. Interesting, that photo, actually from the last time we were out of lockdown. I was actually in a pub near a beach. I miss those days, guys. I can't wait until we get back to it. We've got a really big vision with marketing. I didn't know about Keller Williams until I joined it. And it's just such an incredible story of what it does for individuals and the people we work with. So I'm really keen that we tell this story through proper marketing. Now, part of that story is the story we tell ourselves, because we want to grow this business faster. We want to grow your businesses faster. But what I did when I started, because I've always done it everywhere I've ever worked, and I've just done another survey, and thank you to the 64% of you who completed a survey about would you recommend working at Keller Williams. And what's interesting is that the average score across Europe for would you recommend working where you work is about 15. Our score was a bit higher than that. Good is 10 to 30. Excellent is 50. We got a score from 64% of our people of 60. And genuinely, that's quite an amazing achievement. And there's so many good testimonials in there about why people would recommend working here that we're going to use them in a marketing campaign going forward. So thank you so much for your contribution to that. So we want to move from Keller, who is Keller Williams, to Keller, wow. I mean, genuinely, it's such a good story. How do we tell that? Now, one thing we've done is we went out at the beginning of September again, asked people what people wanted. And what we recognize is the different needs, the different maturities in business and stages and budgets. So we created this tiered system that means the more you get into a position to invest, the 9.2% you should invest in your marketing activity and prospecting activity, the bigger you get, the more you can invest, and therefore the services you need are greater. So we start with, you've already made the best decision by joining Keller Williams, but ultimately you want advice, then you want some powered flight in terms of some collateral, then you want some of the work done for you, and finally you want a specialist marketer. And on the right-hand side, I'm pleased to see a couple of my friends, Ron, Paul, with photographs of them with their new merchandise. And what we've started to do is create merchandise for everyone, because in reality, that's free marketing. There's several hundred people in Sainsbury's who've seen me go in every single time I go in there with my Keller Williams merchandise on. So if we go to the next slide, we've built a really big marketing engine. I don't want you to worry too much about this slide. It's full on, it's everything we do. If we click again, I'm going to drill into just one very small point. Oh, it's been cut over. I'm sorry about that. What that should actually say is the bits that are there are the social media and the content for your campaigns. So what that means is you don't have to create any social media or any letters for your campaigns, nurture campaigns, because it's done for you for about £100 a month. So basically less than the cost of a coffee and a cake from a local coffee shop. So that's what we've built, is at the very entry level. If you want to read the book and do it all yourself, that's fantastic. You can do that. What I love about Keller Williams, you don't need any help to do it. It's all in the book. If you want some help in content creation, then do go to Propel, and we will be able to give you the social media assets you need and the content for your campaigns for £100 a month. Click on to the next slide. What we've also done, and there's a couple of builds here, is we started our PR sort of in anger, which is we started to reach out to the press through our PR team, and Russell, who's part of Keller Williams Plus, but he's helping with our PR and his team doing a brilliant job there. And if we click there, what we see is we've had 19 mentions in December, and it's not even the end of January. We've had 24 so far in January, and I'm pleased to say we've even crossed the pond and been covered as Keller Williams UK in the Wall Street Journal. Click on the next one. We've reached 170.3 million people with unique visitors with that coverage. Now, some duplication there between titles, but in reality, that's coverage. If you click again, what that means is for the effort that the guys have done, we've generated essentially £115,000 worth of advertising for Keller Williams UK. So what I'd say about that PR with the next click is, please, when you see the coverage, this is our credibility now. The Daily Express and other titles see us as really newsworthy. So please like the coverage, comment on that coverage, own it by commenting and making it your own, and share it. Property, I used to work at the Daily Telegraph and in the media. Property has always been interesting, but Keller Williams UK is now really newsworthy because we are changing this market. And my final point before I hand over is there's quite some big stuff coming in the next month or so, which is, there was alluded to earlier, was the video that we created to promote Keller Williams UK. And yes, it makes me feel emotional every time. I've probably watched it about 20 times now, because every time I watch it, it makes me feel quite emotional. It's such a great video that tells our story. But also one thing we recognize, Mark's doing a fantastic job with the technology. I mean, genuinely, it's world-class. And I come from a very different world, world-class technology. I know for some people, the technology is a bit like, I can't quite get my head around it. And what we're gonna do is help you with that. But we're also introducing a really low-tech solution for everyone in Keller Williams UK, which means you, as an associate, will be able to contact every single person in your area who meets your requirements, basically for the cost of a first-class stamp. You'll be able to target them based on their location, their house price, their propensity to come to market, and it's just a letter that was always at Countrywide and Knight Frank the highest return on investment activity we ever did. So with that note, watch this space, and there's a nice Valentine's campaign coming too. Over to Ben.
Lovely. Thank you, Simon. Great update as always. So look, loads and loads that we're doing, all in line with helping you build your businesses as fast as possible. Something very quickly that Wayne, I just want to go back to on the family reunion piece. And the only reason I want to make this point is experiencing it. One of the most powerful things for an agent is to see normal people living extraordinary lives, having followed a model, right? And so I like many of you, I am really zoomed out, right? So I do so many Zoom calls, and I get the idea of sitting on a Zoom call for even longer is a tough shout and a big ask. But the one thing I will say to you is, if you want that extra energy and belief and a little shot in the arm, then what you will find, I think there are 60 mega agents and extraordinary, and some of those people are on this call today. There's some incredible people who have followed models and built amazing businesses, and to sit and be on those on Zoom calls and listen to those and be able to ask questions and be part of that, it may just be just what you need at this time. So please don't overlook it simply because it's Zoom and because, you know, it's not even Zoom, but, you know, over a computer screen. Please do give it some thought, because it could be just the energy you need. Now, what I'd like to do now is I'd like to talk to this lady. Actually, I'd like to talk to this lady anyway, but it seems quite a public forum to do it in now with 190 people on the call. But Elle, hopefully you are there. I don't know if it's possible, Charlie, to unshare so that we can see Elle, but I'd really, I wanted to take a couple of minutes each time we're running these stage view companies. We have a few minutes to actually hear from agents, and we've been hearing from some of the guys that are, you know, the Dominics and Alexes and Michael Bailey. They've all been performing some amazing results. But here's the reality: is there's a lot of people really starting to get some great results now, and that's really encouraging. Now, this young lady started with the business, I'm pretty sure it was 2019 in December. So she's launched her business during the pandemic, getting some great results. And my understanding, Elle, I'm sure you'll correct me if I'm wrong, that is that you're growing your team now and adding at least one more member to your team. And again, I repeat, you started at the beginning of pandemic and during that year, and you're making great progress. So I wanted to ask you a couple of questions, if I may. So first of all, let's check you're with me.
Yeah, of course, Ben. Thank you. Lovely to speak to you all.
Nice to see you too. So for me, Elle, I think I would guess that if I was an agent listening to this, I'd want to know, what have you learned? What's that experience been like over the 12 months? And what are the biggest learnings you've had during that 12-month period of time?
Certainly the biggest learning curve for me starting a business during lockdown was essentially going back to adding contacts and also speaking to everyone in Keller. I think following the model, especially for me at the beginning, admittedly, I didn't follow it as strictly as I should. And during that first lockdown was a prime opportunity for me within my market centre to join these Zoom classes, understand how the Keller system works, and also learn from everyone else's experiences as well. Coming from high street agency, it has been genuinely the most refreshing thing I've ever done as an agent. I think having like-minded people that you can work with makes a huge difference. And we've done quite a few sales internally with a lot of the guys from Keller across the board. And it just makes a huge difference, really, having people to work with you rather than against you, which I think just works really well for client base as well. Having a relationship-based business is much healthier as an individual to bring on clients with a service-based business rather than a transactional-based business.
So have you found it, that intimates you found it a collaborative competition rather than kind of, you haven't experienced agents out after each other? It sounds to me like the network's actually been part of the strength rather than, and I always describe it that way, but it's nicer to hear it from an agent, because Ben would say that, wouldn't he? But am I hearing that correctly? Is that what you're saying?
Definitely, yeah. I think it's as I said, it's a breath of fresh air. It's been a brilliant experience for the last year, and actually, yeah, working together as agents makes a huge difference. You know, a lot of the UK guys will know, in high street, it's very competitive. I'm a very competitive individual, but it is brilliant. I've had multiple properties that have been passed across kindly by the guys in the Keller Williams Plus, and also some of the guys across the board, and a lot of those are sold. And we've worked together and collaborated, you know, and that's what the main difference is, I think.
So, and when you say, you said, look, I wasn't entirely following the model. Can you define, what do you mean by following the model? What's your interpretation of that in terms of whether you are or you're not?
So I would say more being so involved. So originally, you know, I kind of felt a little bit lost when I first started the business, because obviously we got into a lockdown. I was much more new homes based and developer based rather than residential sales. And actually, when I started to join in with the classes, reading Millionaire Real Estate, reading The One Thing, actually learning how to build a business, I felt more that I was actually building a business rather than, you know, just going the course of trying to bring on as many properties as possible. And primarily that's kind of helped a lot more now, building, as I said, that database, using ValPal to get those leads, using the social media techniques that have been taught on your classes, but also using things like the 8x8 and 12x12, which we're really seeing a key difference of now. And people are, you know, we're not having to push for valuations. We are getting referrals across the board, which is an amazing feeling. But yeah, essentially following the Keller structure in order to win business definitely works. Essentially, as you always say on the Zoom classes, you know, following Gary Keller and what he's done, essentially that has changed my business entirely.
So look, I'm going to ask you a really difficult question, because this is probably really impossible for you to even imagine. But imagine I'm starting out as an agent, and you probably say you're too old, Ben, to start out around now as a freshman. But imagine I was starting out now, Al. What would be the one thing? So I've just read The One Thing, right? And you say to me, like, I've been doing this now for a year, Ben. Let me tell you, if there's one thing you must do every day, what would you say that is? Because there's a lot there that you've just mentioned, all of it absolutely spot on. But if I said to you, look, I'm only capable of really nailing down on one, L, what's that one thing that I shouldn't put my head on a pillow every night until I've done one thing? What would that be in your view?
Lead generation, I would say. I think generating those leads and blocking out that time in order to do that, adding those contacts to your database, whether that be 15 a day or 30 a day. You just need to focus on building that database, as you said, to be able to survive in any market. It makes a huge difference, but also building that rapport with the clients, putting those calls in, as how are you calls, rather than just, are you looking to sell? I'm calling from Keller Williams. It makes a huge difference building that business in that way. And that's the main thing that helped me through that lockdown, was speaking to those clients when we couldn't do those valuations and just checking in, and building that database.
So I'll tell you this. So earlier when we were saying, oh, who should we have to speak this time around? And there was a lot of voices in support saying, you got to get Elle on there. I said, well, all right. No, I've never really had a chat with her. Now I really get the enthusiasm as to why everyone said, you got to get Elle speaking about this, because truly you come across with such clarity around what you're doing. And I'm definitely picking up on the competitive edge too, Elle. And I do think that's really important for all of us, right? It's not easy. It might be simple, but it definitely ain't easy. And it takes that first year to really start to build the database to get that momentum. So I congratulate you, and truly, I think you come across incredibly well. I'm not surprised to learn that you're doing so well in your business, and I'm really excited to see what you build during the course of the year ahead. Thank you, Ben. Yeah, really enjoying it, and same here. Really looking forward to it. It's very exciting, and yeah, it's been a very exciting year. It's been a tough one, and it hasn't been easy, but it's certainly been the best thing I've genuinely ever done. I'm really enjoying it. I can't really do it because we're concentrating on our conversation, but do take the time to read comments, because there's some lovely things in the comment box very specifically about you. Nothing at all about me, Elle. Nothing, literally nothing in there at all. But loads about you, which is entirely appropriate. And thank you for spending a bit of time with us and sharing your learnings.
Thank you, Ben. Yeah, thank you. It's nice to see you all.
Very good, very good. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to have to, despite the slide saying I'm going to hand over to Charlie. Sorry, Charlie. And Charlie's going to take us through some incredible performances from agents over the fourth quarter. So over to you, Charlie.
Okay, thank you. So, welcome to everyone who has joined us in October and November and December. Don't worry, I'm not going to read all the names out, but there are a lot adding to our community, and that's just one slide. There's another. So those are all people who've joined us in the quarter, be they agents, leadership team, and regional team. And just a quick note of those who've also joined us since the 1st of January. So a welcome to everyone, and great to see you on the call today and joining us all. Now, a few quick notes on a few of those new starters. I've picked on 3, but I've heard great stories about more, and actually all 3 of these guys since joining in the first 4 weeks have got 3 or 4 listings. I think Anthony's even got a deal on one of his as well. So that's just in their first few weeks. Fantastic, quickest into production, I think. And mindful of time, but I wanted to pull out a few other superstars. Again, there's lots of positive stories going on in every market centre, but just to pick on a few of these, because I am conscious of time. Sally joined us as a TL, and in her first month landed and brought in 6 new agents. Sue she took a really proactive approach in her local area. She could see a big development that wasn't selling. She went and talked to them. She pulled off a deal with them, and they've now brought in lots of business for her and that developer. Adrian joined us last year. He's followed the model step by step, never been an agent before, read Ignite, read MREA, read The One Thing, got his story, then his handwritten notes, and has now got 12 listings, 7 under offer, his first commission payment, and just storming it now. Just picking on another couple, Lisa has built an amazing social media following. So if you're not following her, start following. She is now even training on her social media course for other KW agents because of what she's learned and is delivering. And to pick on one more there, Natalia, she landed what I believe is our biggest commission deal so far. She landed 140 grand, which and brokered that at the end of last year. So well done, everyone. So just a quick canter through some of the superstars, and I'm going to hand over to Diane to talk through some more.
Thanks, Charlotte. All right, you guys, are you ready? We're going to go to the next slide. So we're going to start talking now about more awards. This is the Top Market Center Awards for Q4, so the end of last year. And who do we have? Next. Yay, all right. First place is James from Caledonia up in Scotland, and second place is Lauren from Leeds. Yay, Lauren. I'm a little biased, about Leeds, but well done, Caledonia, as well. All right, we're going to move on to the Top UK Market Center for listings taken. Here we go. Third place, we have Gatwick. Second place, Prime. Well done, Darren and Gav. And then first place is London Bridge. Way to go, Allie. It's fantastic. I know you guys have been working so hard. Well done, everyone. All right, we're going to move on to, the top agents for the fourth quarter. So third, Michael Bailey. Second, Alistair Lee. And first place is Dom Marcel. You guys, we see some of the same faces again, but that just lets you know that it takes constant persistence, right? We can't just do it 1 month and then think it's going to last forever. We have to keep on the activities constantly. And these three are great examples of how that's done. So moving on to the top market center for growth in agent count. Did I do the wrong one, Charlotte? Yep, sorry. So gross commission, we'll go there. Michael Bailey again and Dom Marcel, way to go. And in first place, Alex Harvey, yay. You guys are amazing. The consistency is fantastic. And I love seeing that everybody is setting the bar and others are chasing you. So watch out. You don't realize it. They're sneaky. They come up slow and then they show up and they're watching. So keep it up and keep influencing everybody in the leader way that you do. Thank you.
Thanks, DG. So again, do you know what? I'm just going to quickly share this because you guys have done a great job of bringing us back on time. It's really tricky, isn't it, with Zoom to really to get the feeling of success for these individual performances. But I hope that it's resonating through to you wherever you're watching from. Whilst I don't want to put any of the winners through me singing something to them as in celebration, but seriously guys, these are some tremendous performances, and we'll try and figure out a way so we can get as much atmosphere on these as we possibly can. If it wasn't for DG doing her yay piece after each one, it would be really tricky. But wonderful performances, guys, and great to see some new names up there. So if you pop to the next slide for me, I'd like to just two particular awards for the overall year. And so the number one is the market center that's grown the most during the course of the year. And this is a pretty significant thing because what you have to do, everyone's here by choice, right? So there's no compulsion to being part of Keller Williams. It's only it's about, I was talking to Martin earlier, who runs our market center down in Bristol. It said it's not about getting people to join, it's about making sure that they're able to stay and that they build a meaningful business. So in terms of growing a market center, what that means is they're bringing in lots and lots of agents, but they're really helping those businesses grow and helping those agents build their business, which is what we're all about. So in third place was Gavin Swan. He's done an incredible job with that business. He really has, and growing the center up to, I think it's nearly 70 agents now, Gav. So amazing job from you there. Darren, equally tremendous job from you, and you're second in building out with Lars and the team there and building that into what's becoming a really quite exciting market center now. But in first place, an absolutely outstanding performance is this lady, Claire Reddings. She's got an incredible team around her. Mark, you've seen earlier on. She's just a remarkable individual, and she's been a major asset to Keller Williams from the start. So many congratulations to you, Claire, and to the team. And there's something very, very lovely that you'll enjoy winging its way over to you to be delivered to you. So well done to you. And then we're going to have a look. Also, we have to have a look at the overall top agent for the year. Now, we'll say this. You're going to see some new names coming now, some real challenges, because there's so many agents who are now, you can see the listings coming through, you can see the sales agreed. So there's going to be an awful lot, and I'm really excited about it. There's going to be an awful lot of capping agents this year, and those agents smashing that cap, which is incredibly important for us all. So, but in third place is top gross commission income. It's a remarkable performance from this young lady, Natalia. Lovely individual and built a super business. You heard earlier she brokered a fabulous deal at nearly £150,000 fee, but also has done other business too, and doing that in a highly competitive place, i.e. in prime central London. So well done to Natalia. Dominic, you'll all know very well, just astonishing what Dominic and the team have achieved. I think over 100 deals during the course of last year. And I still marvel at the fact it's only been going for 18 months or so. and what he's built, and some very exciting things happening for Dom over the course of this year ahead too. So more on that, I suspect, in the next update. But in first place, for an incredible business this person has built. I mean, truly incredible business. Great individual. He and Sarah deserves all the credit too. These two started with us about 2.5 years ago, I think, Alex, and is now top for the entire year, which is no great surprise to some. But Alex, I'm sure you're going to have to go some to stay in that place next year. But many congratulations to you and Sarah and Sam and Diana and the whole team for an amazing performance over the year, mate. Well done to you. So incredible. Absolutely incredible.
Team effort.
Oh, you are there, buddy. Excellent. Well done, you.
Thank you.
So it only remains to say, look, I hope that those of you, first time you've joined, and those of you indeed that have been with us on these, I hope that you enjoy the format. I hope you feel well informed. I hope you've got something clear in your mind around making sure you've got those goals clear, giving yourself the best chance to go and achieve those. And I hope you're learning all the time that we are flat out trying to build this into something to enable you to build that business that's truly worth owning. And it's so exciting to me to see so many of you really starting to thrive now. So well done to you all. Thank you so much for being present this afternoon. I think we're going to leave this open for 15 minutes or so, Charlie. Is that right? So anybody who wants to stay on for a brief chat, I'm certainly going to for a few minutes. So if you want to ask or share anything or say hello, then we'd love you to do that. But in the meantime, those of you who've got to go, thank you very much for being with us this afternoon. Thank you, guys.
All right, let me try and jump in and introduce myself. Am I even being heard?
You are being heard by us all.
Oh, fantastic. Wow, what a world we're living in. How things have changed. My name's Solomon Moody. You know, I've basically been invited by Ian, who somehow befriended me, and he's got my intrigue. Just to give you a bit of background about myself, I've been working for Wilmot's Chartered Surveyors for 14 years. I'm just collecting some keys at the moment. I'm just in Bayswater. So, you know, I've been in the game probably about 6 years now. And yeah, you develop a love for the business, and it's really nice to be on a call with 190 agents. It's like, wow, it's the first time I've ever been on a call like that. And it's amazing. And just hearing some of those numbers and hearing those awards, it was reminding me of when I first started. I used to work for a company called Acorn, and I think we had about, I think we've got there's 35 offices now. And obviously, you know, that competitive nature that we all have, obviously was stimulated for me back in the Acorn days. And yeah, it's really just nice to be even just hearing and just being part of it. So yeah, I just thought I'd just throw in and be first. And obviously I'm very interested in making contact with 190 people, obviously, that want to get deals done. You know, and I hear about a lot of deals, and, you know, sometimes you get a deal and you think to yourself, why isn't anyone jumping on this? Like, what is going on? Let me just give you a quick one. I had keys for a property for 3 months. I knew there was money in the deal. I could smell the money in the deal. Anyway, cut a long story short, I didn't do the deal. No one I knew did the deal. Someone else, a complete stranger, showed up, and in 6 months, they made £168,000 gross profit. It's a fact. It's a fact that burns me. I'm sure you all have those facts that burn you. We have to do something about it, because these deals, they come on the table again and again and again. There's nothing new.
I'm going to jump in there. One, I don't know if your video is on, but I am
okay. Is it supposed to be?
Smiling faces, listening to you jump in there first and say hello. So welcome to you. Thank you for being part of it. And do make sure I'm assuming you're referring to Ian Cooper.
Yeah.
And I can see him with his new addition to the Cooper family. Actually, good afternoon to you, buddy. Lovely to see you. So welcome to you, Solomon. Thanks for being part of it.
No problem. I'm hiding in the shadows here, but I'm just pulled up because obviously I'm here in Bayswater. So hi.
So who else would like to say hello and good afternoon?
Ben, I'd like to jump in. Ben, good
Solomon.
afternoon. First of all, Solomon, I'd just like to say you have an amazing name. because my son is also called Solomon. So I was very interested to hear your story. What an amazing state of the company. Now, I just wanted to say, I'm very proud and honored that my mother, Aldine Honey, has joined our state of the company. And she's been my inspiration for real estate. And she had a very successful real estate company, estate agency for 30 years. And she's also the reason I joined Keller Williams, because she was approached by one of the US agents, Pam. And as a result of that meeting, I read the MREA and I joined Keller Williams, and it's been a fantastic experience. And I echo what Els said. She spoke so eloquently earlier that it's been really, really amazing to be part of such a great family, and definitely has improved my business beyond measure. So very grateful, for my mother mentoring me in the real estate business and introducing me to Keller Williams. And she's called Aldine Honey, if you can see her somewhere. I don't know if she's still on.
Simon, thank you for that. That's really lovely. And as ever, you were one of the first people I met when I came to Keller Williams, and so we've got to know each other really well. So it's wonderful having a partner like you, such as you, and you've been supportive. I've said this to you many times. You've been so incredibly supportive on everything we've been doing over that period of time. So I'm very grateful to you in return. But I will say also, whilst you've been threatening to introduce me to your mother for years, I've never actually seen her. So if she is, if she's there, it would be lovely to say hello. If I don't know if she wants to.
She is there. She needs to unmute.
Good afternoon, everybody. That was really lovely to see and meet you all and hear the great strides that Keller Williams made since I met with that lady a number of years ago and persuaded Simon to jump in. I have actually sent Simon a little WhatsApp while this was going on and said, it's time he pulled up his socks and got in the game. I mean, what the hell? He should be number one. I'm so disappointed.
You know what? From all the introductions I've had about you, what you've just said there doesn't surprise me one jot, actually. So, yeah, go ahead, Simon. Follow in Mother's direction, please, and get to the top there, please. And can I just say, I'm delighted to meet you. Your reputation precedes you, and everyone that's met you has said to me, have you met Simon's mother? She's the most remarkable individual. So I'm delighted to meet you. Thank you for being present with us
as well. And everybody else, well done. Congratulations. I love what Simon Leadbetter is doing. I think that's going to make an enormous difference. I think the IT that is in process will make it much easier for everybody. And I think that's exactly what we need. Predictable process with results.
Somebody's just put in the chat here, actually, that I should hire you. So perhaps we could have a conversation after this, if that's okay. I'm extremely open to that idea. In fact, Simon, I think I said that to you 2.5 years ago, mate. So
I reckon she might give him a run for his money as well.
And Gav, she's also, my mother's also ex-South African, if you hadn't picked it up, and she sent me a little WhatsApp saying, I'm so thrilled that you've got South Africans working for you, because they're the hardest working and most entrepreneurial people. So Gav and Wayne and whoever else might be South African, that's great. I'm ex-South African.
Brilliant.
Oh, wonderful stuff. Wonderful stuff.
Great. Well, thank you very much again, Ben, and everybody. It was lovely to see and meet and see how the company's grown. I mean, I remember the days in the chippy. I remember the days where we used to meet in whatever coffee bar we could. And so I think it's definitely going in the right direction. And I'm really happy to see how hard and enthusiastic and productive everybody is. Well done.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And again, thank you for being part of it this afternoon and joining us. It's really super.
My pleasure.
Actually, sitting to your right, I can see Stephen Pye. Good afternoon to you.
Hi there. How are you?
I'm extremely well, thank you. Did you, well, if I ask you, did you enjoy that? It's going to be really awkward if you say something really negative, isn't it?
I've enjoyed everything about what I've seen so far. I've had it's been a great week. I'm starting as a team leader for Evelyn up in Glasgow here, and I can't wait to get started. Everything I've seen so far has been incredible. It really has. I've been trying to link as many different people I can into the training and the videos, so they can have a look and just see what's on offer and what within this business. And the people that just have sent me messages and welcomed me into the business, it's just been incredible so far. I can't wait to get properly started.
Is anyone able to guess where Stephen is from? It's wonderful to have you join us this afternoon, Stephen. So yes, I know who you are and where you're joining, and very excited to see what you go and support the team building up in Glasgow. What a massive opportunity we have up in Glasgow, and the guys across the way over at Edinburgh and at the whole team there with Andy. I think this is going to be really quite remarkable across Scotland. So I'm very excited to see it.
I've known Andrew for quite a while. Well, I know him from previously. We're both with Remax, so we've had sort of limited dealings with each other. I'm looking forward to getting a chat with him now. It's been 10 years, I think, actually, since I last saw him, but he's been round one or two different places, and same with myself. So looking forward to that as well.
I don't know. Thanks, Stephen. I don't know if Elle's still on, but so I hope not to embarrass her if she is still on by saying this. But how impressive was that lady? Did you like hearing from her? I really enjoy. Do you know it's the favourite part of the state of the companies for me? I actually really like hearing from agents, and I haven't had the opportunity to do that before. So Dom, I can see you there. Have you met Elle before? Do you know each other?
I've not had the pleasure, to be perfectly honest, but listening to it, I mean, you guys are great, but to be honest, I could have just listened to her the whole time, if I'm being completely honest with you. No offense, anyone, and what you're all doing is brilliant, but it's just, I just get a kick out of listening to people that are passionate about what they do, and it's just, yeah, absolutely brilliant.
Dom, if you haven't seen her before, just look over your shoulder. She's catching up.
See you there, Dom. Watch this space. Thanks, guys. I must say it was quite nerve-wracking to speak to so many people. I didn't realise how many people would be on the call, but yeah, it's amazing to work with a company that is so motivating. And genuinely, these calls are the most motivating bit of the day. You know, working on your own, I think it's such a big thing to have such a team behind you to push each other forward. So yeah, I really truly mean everything I said, and it's lovely to speak to you all, and look forward to meeting everyone in person once we finally can.
Do you know, well, that works right the way through. So for me, you know, if I was doing this without Diane in the early days, here right at the beginning, and also the family in Jerome won't be on now, but you know, the guys across just across the channel in France, and Eduardo and Nuno over in Portugal, and my great friend Johan over in South Africa, and so many others. You know, when you're going out and starting your own business, it makes such a difference just to have a group of people that really understand what you're going through, just to be able to lean into, just on a human level. It makes a really big difference, doesn't it? Rather than being, you want to be on your own because it's your business, but knowing that's a gang around you, I find that a really appealing part of this.
Definitely, Ben, I agree. I think you know, I've got agent experience, but I've never ever run a business. And that was the kind of scariest part. And I must say, there has been some sleepless nights, but having a team behind you makes all the difference. You know, it's your business, but you've got a team that are like-minded people that push you to go forward, rather than, you know, more. There is competitive side, of course, with anything. You have to be a bit competitive, but I think having not a competitive, you know, bad environment, and where it's pushing even towards your, you know, health. You're talking about nutrition, making sure you're stress-free, all of that as well, I think is a major key factor with Keller, because it's caring about everyone else as well as your own business, which makes a huge difference.
It's a bit, you know, I'm sure some people coming in for the first time think it's a bit odd. What's that guy banging on about sleep and nutrition and stress management for? That's a bit, shouldn't he be talking about numbers and what we're doing? But you're spot on there. If you want to perform, if you want to show up in any part of your life, truly, those are component parts, whether you acknowledge it or not. Every piece of research tells you that you want to show up in the best format possible and the best version of yourself. Those are imperative parts of it. So if you're going to start your day without taking care of those things, don't be surprised if you're not hitting the things, getting out of life that you want to get out of them. So But I love the environment. It's kind of okay to talk about that here, isn't it? And so it's you find like-minded people, I guess.
Definitely, yeah, I completely agree.
And speaking of that, I will say that I personally believe that Craig Delahoy's new beard is a good look. I think it works, you know, and we can arbitrate on that on this call very easily, Craig, and put it in the chat box if you agree with me. But I think he looks magnificent, personally.
Yeah, it's everybody likes it apart from the missus.
Is that right?
It's born out of laziness rather than designer.
Well, you carried it off very well. Every time.
Check the chat, Craig.
I tried again. I tried again over Christmas, and I just had this sort of silver, rather untidy looking, and it aged me 10 years. And I thought, I don't know why I'm trying to do this. I've done this like sort of 10 times trying to grow this, and I grow it pretty well, but it just looked like I don't know. I ought to be doing something else for a day-to-day rather than than building this. So I'm gonna have to pack that up at some point.
Yeah, but a serious request, Ben. You have to get Simon's mother in as the accountability for any agent, because, geez, Louise, if that lady was calling me on a Friday, my numbers would be done.
Well, there we are. So I'm definitely open to that conversation with all Deans. In fact, I'm quite excited to wrap this call up as soon as possible so I can make a call, to be quite honest. Lovely. Well, look, guys, I have to say it's an absolute delight for me, and I hope you can appreciate that. Simon was just referencing he probably was there for those very early meetings. And being part of this, and I can see, Diane, you're top left of my screen right now. So
it's true. Those were interesting times for sure.
They really were, but it's added to such an extraordinary texture to this whole story. So when you hear me speak, I know some people say, "Cracky, that guy almost eulogizes about this place," and I make no apology for it. This matters to me on a level that's this is not a job. This is such an important thing that I feel that we're doing. I think it's really important for people moving home in the UK, and I think it's really important. It's the biggest driver for me. As Dom knows, I want to help at least 1,000 families become truly wealthy through real estate. At least 1,000. So be part of that. Let me help you. All the stuff we want to do is to help achieve that goal. I want to get at least 1,000 people to become really wealthy through real estate. So that's my goal. I'd love you to be part of it, and thank you for joining us this afternoon and being part of the call. I'm going to need to clear off, Charlie, so you're welcome to. I don't think I'm hosting, am I? So if I leave, it doesn't cut everybody off. So
okay.
All right.
Thanks, Ben.
Thank you, Diane. Lovely to see you.
You too. It's
care,
nice that it's not 4 a.m. today, which is nice.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye, guys.
Cheers, Ben.
Thanks, Ben.
Thank you, Ben. Thank you, Charlotte.